Now in this section I want to create a virtual link between router 1 and switch 2 through VLAN 16 and show you some interesting point about this virtual link and solve the issue of a split backbone. So first of all I want to go to router 1 and before doing anything I want to check the IP routing table. So IP route tells me that I do not have connectivity to every loopback interface. For example, although I want to connect to switch 2's loopback, I cannot see any record of loopback zeros of switch 2 here. So if I try to ping 110.166, you can see that this is not successful. But check this out, I want to abort this ping, go to enable and configuration mode in order, and go to router Ospf process 1, and now I tell the Ospf process to create a virtual link in area 16 by this command, area 16 virtual link 110.166. And I know that 110.166 is not accessible here, but I hit enter. After a while on switch 2 I received some mismatch area ID errors. So I go to enable mode on switch 2 and go to configuration mode, and now in router Ospf process number 1 I go to create a virtual link in area 16, and this virtual link is going to connect to 110.111, and after a while you should see an adjacencies coming up. So if I check the IP routing table, we can see that now I have accessibility to 110.1.1, and on router 1 if I check this, show IP route command tells me that I am able to connect to 110.166. So this is the solution for the split backbone area. Now I want to show you one more thing, and this is of course a little hard to implement because before doing this I need to make sure that the connectivity is available between the loopback interfaces or the interfaces that I'm going to use for creation of the tunnel. So I remove this virtual link, no area virtual link, and on switch to I do the same command. Now I'm going to make sure that again I want to see which loopback interface is available and I want to connect to that. If I go for example to my topology and tell that I want to create a tunnel between router 1 and switch 2, I need to make sure that there are two interfaces that can reach each other and I can create the tunnel through that and put the tunnel endpoints in the in area 0. So of course I can use the frame relay connection to create the tunnel. It is easy to create this, but first of all I need to make sure that the endpoints of those tunnels are available. If I try to add for example loopback interfaces at the source or destination of this tunnel interface, you can see that I need to add some mappings to frame relay so that I can implement this, and this is kind of a burden on my shoulder. I prefer to go to router 1 and select the fast 00 and VLAN 16. These are two interfaces that are accessible, and I can do this like this. Let's go to router 1 first, and I create the interface tunnel 16, and this tunnel is between router 1 and switch 2, and I'm going to use tunnel source as fast 00, and tunnel destination is going to be 10.0.16.6, and as soon as you specify the tunnel destination you can see that the tunnel is coming up, and now I need to add an IP address to this tunnel interface. So I can add a static IP address or I can unnumber this tunnel interface. I prefer to add an IP address, so I add IP address 10.0 for example 61.1 255.255.255.0, and the last piece of command that I need is this. I need to add this to Ospf process. I can do this under this interface configuration, or I can go to router Ospf configuration and add this network to that. I prefer to do this under tunnel interface. So I issue this command: IP ospf 1 area 0. Now I have tunnel interface in one side. Let's see the configuration in brief. Do show run interface tunnel 16. And you can see that there is an IP address, there is IP ospf command, and tunnel source and destination is correctly configured. I copy this and go to Notepad script. Now I'm going to edit this to use on the other side. So the destination is going to be fast 00 of tunnel switch of router 1. The tunnel source is going to be VLAN 16, and the IP address is going to be 6 in the end. And of course, IP ospf 1 area 0 is the same command that I need to do to run on switch 2. So I go to switch 2 and paste these commands here. And after a while, you should see that the tunnel is coming up. And after a while, you can see that the ospf adjacency is created on tunnel 16 between the two areas. And of course, this is a solution to split backbone issue.